Hello and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight we are joined by Vicky and Bush. Welcome to the room, Vicky. How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Well, awesome. It's a little chillier in my neck of the woods. Is it warm where you are?
Oh, it's 90 degrees today.
Oh my gosh, how envious I am of you.
I don't know. We just put the air conditioning on. It just
Oh,
got really hot.
you're breaking my heart over here. You're breaking my heart. I debated turning off the heat. I'm telling you. Um, just breaking me. I'm hearing the farm equipment, but I'm thinking this ain't summer yet. So,
Mm,
now your neck of the woods, from refreshing my memory here, is Nevada, right?
yes, yes. I'm in
Okay.
Nevada. Yes.
So Nevada, New York. Tell me the draws for both for you, because I believe that's where you came from, right? Originally New York to Nevada?
Yeah, I'm originally from New York, and I've been in Nevada now though for 40 years almost.
Oh, wait a minute. I have to pause that because when you said New York, it really sounded like a New York accent. You went right from Nevada right into the New York. I mean, I'm liking that. I don't know if anyone else caught that, but I was like, "Whoa, there's that accent." Say it again. Say it again. Come
New
on.
New York.
All right. Yeah, it's still there. You were trying to hold it back, but I could still hear it. I can still hear it. So tell me the difference. Tell me the draw for both of you for going from one to the other.
Well, the truth is, to move out west, I was just turning 15, so it's not like I chose to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and we initially had went to California for about 7 years before we moved to Nevada. But for me, the plus about New York is pretty much everything because
Mhm.
I love it.
You're yeah.
And then the plus about here is, the desert has its own charm. It really does. There's things about it that are truly beautiful. I've grown so used to the mountains, being surrounded by mountains. You don't even think about it until you leave, or like take a trip back east, go to New York, and then you're like, oh wait, where's my mountains? That type of thing. But it's a lovely place. My first choice, however, would have been to stay back east, only because I
Mhm.
love the seasons. I absolutely love the
Yeah,
seasons. Yeah.
yeah, I feel that. I love the in-between time, like
Me too.
spring to summer, summer to fall, just in between, not the full season, that in between where you can just finally feel the spurts of the not Christmas, crisp. I can't even talk. Crispness. There you go. I'll have to separate the word
hmm
crispness in the air.
That's
You know what I
actually
mean?
my
I just love
favorite.
that.
Yeah, me too. That's my
Yes.
favorite season. And I miss it. I miss it being out here all these years and not having that just, the leaves were orange and red and
Mm,
golden, and and the air was crisp, and you felt so alive.
yes. You do. Like I said, I love it when you can first feel the change coming. And then it's
Yeah.
like our right now, we had a teaser a couple weeks ago, we actually got 80s, and I'm like, "What the freak? Where'd it go? Where is it?" Then it dropped off the map, some technology for me. Behind the Veil. Explain the meaning of this for you.
For me, behind the veil is anything that is afterlife.
Okay.
So the veil is, in my mind, the very thin piece of fabric that can separate us from what's after. So when I say behind the veil, anything that transpires after you die.
Okay.
That's just my personal opinion. That's how I see it.
Right. And
Yeah.
from what I understand, reading your bio, you feel like you have a close connection with that through your family. Am I correct?
Yes, yes. And it seems to be mostly the women in the family. And
Mhm.
it's on my mom's side. I don't ever remember talking to anybody on my dad's side who really had a connection like that. But on my mom's side, I mean, I had conversations with my grandmother. My grandmother told me I knew my great grandmother, but I was 7 when she passed, so I don't remember a lot of conversation. And she spoke mostly broken English, because she was from Italy.
Mhm.
But through my grandma, I remember, her telling me things, and then things that my great aunts experienced as well, her sisters. So, it just seems to be in the bloodline, I guess, that each generation carries it with them because I mean, I can't remember a time not being like that, and then I can remember with my kids being young. Um, Things happening to them, when they were really little. And they're like that now too. So it just seems to get handed down.
Now explain it. What exactly it do you feel? The
I've
sensations? Go ahead.
sensations, I've seen things, I've heard things, I've heard conversation.
Mm.
Our youngest, they were really in tune to conversation when they were younger. Our and then our eldest daughter is very energy sensitive. I
Mm.
can remember times where we could walk into a house and maybe a TV was on in the second story, but there was no sound on,
Oh.
and she could feel it. But we've all heard things. There's times in our life where my mom, and we didn't know this until we actually had a conversation, but my mom, me, and my eldest daughter were seeing the same person at our
Mm.
own homes, but we didn't know that each one of us was singing. It just happened one day when I was at my mom's house. I'm sitting in the chair that in the dining room, and you could see out the front window. And I see someone walk to the front door, and he had a plaid shirt on, and I'm like, "Oh, this looks familiar." And I'm waiting for someone to knock, and nobody knocked. So I go look, there's nobody there, and I said, "Ma, someone just walked up to the door with the plaid shirt." And she said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I see him all the time." And I said, "You're kidding me. I see him at my house, coming to the front door." So at that particular point in time, my daughter walks in, and she had her own place, and she said, "Oh, you mean the man in the plaid shirt? I see him too."
Mm.
So we're not exactly sure because we could never really get a good vision, a good look of his face. But the only thing
Mhm.
I could think of, and my mom thought of, is that my step grandfather, who is really the only grandfather that I knew from my mom's side, as far as I didn't know my natural grandfather, and he always wore plaid shirts, and we had lost contact with him after my grandma passed away. He had just really gotten withdrawn, and I said to my mom, I go, I wonder if he passed. So I started
Mm.
looking into it. I called family, but like I said, that was the family from my grandma's side, not his side. And
Right.
I decided to do a search. And so I did the search, and then, you pay for the little thing and then you get the certificate. And yeah, it had been about 6 months, but he had passed away.
Oh, wow.
So we're thinking
Wow.
that's who was coming. He was coming to tell us. Now, why he only knew Stevie, my oldest daughter, he only knew her from when she was really little. I think the last time he had seen her, she was like, maybe about 8 or 9,
Mm. Wow.
but she saw him too.
Wow. I don't claim to be, clairvoyant or anything like that, but when we put in security cameras, I started to see and I'm not I know you're laughing, but I ain't kidding you. My cohort in the room, I have sent her stuff, and I'm like, "What is this?" And she's like, "Go out in there and tell them, like, stern voice, in the name of Jesus Christ, leave here. If you're not, you know what I mean?" I'm like, yo, I'm going out with crosses
Yeah,
and whatever else I
yeah.
can. Like, yo, not here, guys, not here. I mean, but the cameras would turn and crap, and I'm like, what the beep is going on out there? And I mean, this was I don't know, I think it was maybe what 2 years ago, maybe. And then recently, my father passed, and
Oh,
it's
I'm
it's been
sorry.
about thank you. It's been a month and a half or a little less. The days get lost on me. And
Yeah, yeah.
I put cameras at my parents' house prior to my dad's passing. One, because my dad, he loved it. Even with COVID, he's the reason I put cameras all over my house because they weren't going very much, but I wanted them to be able to have access to us, while we were in all that
Mhm.
lockdown stuff. And anyways, since my father's passing, and I don't see a full entity. It's a fuzziness, and it's not
Mhm.
always where my father sat, which has happened twice, and the cameras capture it. So I have sent it to my mother, and I sent it to her cell phone, which is another story in itself because she can't operate it very well. But she knows how to check her picture, so she shows everybody. She goes, look, Louis is sitting right beside me, right there." And
Aw.
yes, but he's not always there, and I've showed her. He's not always sitting there. And so it's not like a lighting situation, or because I'm skeptical on some things, So I'll be
Yeah.
like, maybe this is just my old eyes getting bad on me, but I have used the screen capture and he's not always sitting there. But me, it's just a fuzziness. It's just like a cloud, you know what I mean? Like a white cloud
Yeah. Yeah.
right
Well, there's
above. I
been
don't have
times
Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say there's been times where I see something and it's not clear, but there were times
Mhm.
where I saw some things that were very clear and times that I saw some things that were very clear that I would have not chosen to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there was a couple
I've been
times in the middle of the night I'd be waking up my husband. I'd be like, I just saw this, and I would see the same face. It was a very horrific face, but it was in this one particular house, and I haven't seen it since that house.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know. Even now, of course, for me right now, I'm grasping for anything of my father. So,
I
I mean, it's a
totally
little bit,
understand.
yeah. So it's a little
Yeah.
bit, yo, dude,
You know,
where have you been?
I after my dad passed, I would smell him or little
Mm,
things would happen. My dad was a musician and so I grew up in a house filled with music and it got to be for a while where, certain things that I knew that were uh, connected to him would be
mhm.
the things that would just come out of the blue, but just out of the blue, things that you wouldn't necessarily like. Walking into my kids always called my dad Jiminy Cricket. They said Papa was Jiminy Cricket. And I would walk into the dentist office, and normally the music you hear is not Disney music in a dentist office.
No,
And
no.
I would walk in and I sat down, and all of a sudden, When You Wish Upon a Star, Jiminy Cricket singing it came on the radio.
Mm.
Came with this. So, I mean, little things like that. And I just notice, and I don't know other people how they feel, who are I call it being sensitive. I'm not going to label
Mhm.
myself anything else because it's really not something that I can just call on. It just happens.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if they notice too that I feel that when someone passes away, it's really stronger in the beginning, maybe the first year, maybe the first two
Mm.
years, and then it gets a little less, and then a little less. And then, I still have things that my mom, more so than my dad, because my dad's been gone longer. My mom's
Yeah.
been gone for 4 years, and so it's still somewhat stronger, but
Yeah.
dad's kind of weaned now.
Yeah. It's hard.
It is
So
hard.
so on a little bit of an off topic, and now technically that was on topic because you started writing paranormal based on this emotional sense that went through your family. So we technically were on topic. So we were on topic. Getting back to how you write the paranormals and the gist of that, let me talk a little bit about your newest work, the Alex McKenna. Now tell us the
McKenna.
inspiration, McKenna, excuse me. Tell us about the inspiration and the focus behind the series.
Um, First of all, with Alex, it was, I was already writing paranormal, and it's not a
Mhm,
conscious. I didn't make a conscious decision. It just happened that the first YA, I just just kind of gravitated towards that. And it wasn't
mhm.
until like I wrote a couple of books that I realized, oh, I probably do this because it's just, for me, it's just normal. You know what I mean? So
Right,
that's probably
right.
why it comes out. But my grandson is transgender.
Mhm,
And at the time that I started thinking about it, Alex writing something, he was younger. He's 13 now, so it's probably been. I want to say he was probably like about six, maybe six
mhm.
years old. And I said to my daughter, because I was looking at different things and I didn't see anything where the transgender character would be the focus not on the transgender. It's on
Mhm,
it would be on the paranormal or be on whatever the book is about. And
mhm.
I talked to my daughter and I said, "Do you really need that?" So that's how the character was born. He was born for my grandson, so
Mm,
that when he got a little older, when he was, closer to the YA age, he could have a, yeah, a character that he could read about and relate to, but it wasn't so much the transgender journey because, there's things sprinkled in to let the reader kind of
right.
know this is, but I'm not transgender, so I don't feel that I would be the right person to really get into the emotion of the character, if
Right.
that makes any
You
sense to
basic
you.
I from what I understand, you wanna normalize it. You don't want it to be a shocker. You want it to be something that I mean, because everyone doesn't wanna be just, "Oh, there's this person, she's that, or this one's that," or you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, and
From
that's
what I understand
exactly
from
it.
right. So from what I'm
And
understanding,
and
you
I
wanted
get
to normalize it. Yeah, I get that.
yes, yes, yes. And because I really don't get it. I not the transgender. I don't get other people
Oh,
who
well,
who don't get it. Do you know what I mean?
join the bandwagon on that because I never
I
understand
mean,
anything.
it just doesn't yeah, it just doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense to me. So I'm like, I don't understand why does this have to be something that is such a big deal to you?
you're
If
right,
if you're
right,
not, it doesn't make any sense. So that's what I
right.
wanted to do, and I just wanted to bring that to the front and into the mainstream of everything.
Right. And now,
Yeah.
when did you start writing this series? What year was it?
Um, I would say it was somewhere around 2015, 2016,
2015.
right around there. I didn't
Well,
get a
how
publisher until 2018, I believe I signed.
how progressive of you, though? How progressive of you to wanna make that a voice back in 2015? You know what I'm saying? That is very
It's called
do you know
being
what
a
I mean?
grandma.
Yes, yeah, I wouldn't know yet, but yes, I can see that. I can
And
see that.
actually,
But how
I'm not even grandma. I'm Minga. That's a name
Minga.
he created when he was little and it's stuck. So I'm Minga.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I take that back. I do have, well, I've taken her as my adopted daughter, and I've gotten her daughter as my granddaughter. So I take that back. So technically, I am grandma to a sense, but I have my own name too, apart from being just nutsy or crazy, or the one who talks a lot. I don't know, one of those things. So I understand you made the leap into Audible. Explain to me why this happened for you.
Actually, it was the publisher. I was with Parliament
Oh,
House,
okay.
and part of the contract was the audiobooks,
Oh,
which
wow.
is yeah, which is one of the reasons. I don't know if I had said anything to you guys or not, but in 2022 the company sold, and
Ah.
the new company, the new owners are not doing audio. And it didn't sit right with me because of the fact I still have the fourth book out there and people are waiting for
Mm.
that audio. And so things were they were going down a little bit different road than what I kind of felt comfortable with. And I took a really big risk, and I decided to, when the contracts were offered, I decided to take my rights back. which was
Mm,
risky because, not the publishers don't usually like to publish other, work that has already been out there. But I'm
right.
with a new publisher right now, Creative James Media, CJM, for two other new books that are not Alex related. And when I did this, I just kind of put a feeler out, and said, would you be interested? And we talked about it and they seem pretty excited. Anyway, they're going to be handling the Alex books. So the Alex
Nice.
books will come out again. Yes. Yes.
Okay, 1 second, because my timer, there it goes. Okay, now I stopped it. I didn't wa- I didn't want it to beep in your ear. I did stop it. We did 20 minutes, but I've got a few more questions. You want to hang in there with me?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay. So you carried up with another publisher, correct?
Yes, yes. So now it'll be
Okay.
coming out. They'll be coming out again, but not all at once. So, like, the first book will come out this year, and then next year, the two new books that are not related to Alex that they have will come out. And then um, it goes all the way up to 2026 with the Alex books.
Oh,
So they'll
okay.
be
Cool.
reintroduced, yeah, like a second edition. There'll be new covers. There might be, a few new edits just to put their kind of, dots and cross their T's and, make it a little bit,
Well,
have a little
well,
bit
how
added.
exciting. That's kind of
It's
exciting
really
because
exciting. It
it
is
makes you
really
come out. Yeah.
exciting.
It makes you come
Yeah.
out again. The whole Audible experience is exciting for me. That's what I do in the studio here. Um, so well, I'm still tipping my toes in it. I'm doing my work first before I put myself out there for anybody else. But I've done 2 books and it's been quite enjoyable so far, so I cannot complain there.
Yeah, it's, and believe it or not, people when I do signings, you- I mean, I was kind of surprised myself how many people would come up and they'd be interested, and then they'll go, "Is this in audio?" And I
Yeah.
felt really good to say, "Yeah, it is." Oh, then they
I
get
will
really
be honest
excited.
with you. I'll be honest with you. I don't particularly care to actually read them anymore. Because I'm so time limited. I have
Hmm.
a lot going. I'm not saying professionally or anything. I just have a lot going in my life at the current moment. Some good, some not so great, But
Oh,
well, nothing ill-willed, you know what I'm saying? Just things that you have to work through, things that we're going to do, processes. Um,
yes,
but
I get
anyways,
that.
yeah. So without going into too much of a detail. So I find that I like to be hands-free. I like to read a book on my ears, on my phone, put my earbuds in and walk my laps around the pool and get my steps in or have it on speakers while I do some laps in the pool. You know what I'm saying? I like to be able
Right.
to listen to the book while I'm doing something else. So I've went to Audible as well.
Yeah. Yeah. A
So
lot
when
of
we
a
talk,
lot of people are like that.
oh yeah, well, and at commute time, commute time. A lot of
Hmm.
times when you're going to work, it's the commute. You know what I mean? You have something to listen
Hmm.
to in the process of commute, something different that we aren't, hence podcast.
Oh, you know what? My kids
Uh,
are huge podcast listeners. I mean, all the
nice.
time. Yeah, they're especially my oldest. But yeah, both of them like podcasts, and they tell me all the time, "Mom, you got to listen to this one. Mom, you
Yeah.
got to listen to that one."
There are some new ones, and if you're on Hulu and you watch Murder in the Building, that's the premise of that one too. Yes. Oh,
I
I hit a
love
button. Oh my,
that.
yes,
I
I do.
love
Martin
that.
Short. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
Yes.
God,
Yes.
she's
My
so good.
favorite.
She's really good with them too, Selena Gomez. I
Yes.
really like
Yes.
her with them. They're just the three of them together they just click. They just click, and
Yes.
it's just absolutely fantastic, that show.
Highly enjoyable. So, when we
Hmm.
talk about enjoyable and processes to that enjoyment, tell me about your process to your writing.
It's funny. My process is basically get up in the morning, get my coffee, mosey into my office, and basically I just start. It's
Yeah.
funny because I don't have, like, people tell me, I have to do it this way and I have to do it that way. And I'm just not like that. It just, I sit down, I do it, I start writing, and then I may get up and go get breakfast and then come back. And then, it's just a
Mhm.
very relaxed way,
Right.
my process. And the only thing I can tell you that really is if I'm doing research, like I'm
Right.
doing right now, I'm actually rewriting the original novellas that at the time the um, publisher I had combined it into a novel because I had written three
Mhm.
novellas, and that was for the first YA paranormal I ever wrote.
Mhm.
And I took a look at them the other day and I'm like, there's things in there that I don't think would fly right now. And so I
Right.
decided to start rewriting it. And so I've been doing research, a lot of research lately. So that process is basically, just sitting at a computer all day and, trying to make sure I get all the facts right.
I understand that. I understand that. I wanna point something out. I like to do research on each guest, and something that I caught my attention because you are a paranormal author, a YA paranormal. Something that caught my interest was The Garden of Two. It's an
Mm,
historical fiction. Tell me about that. Why the change from one thing to the next? What drawed you to that?
okay, so this is kind of funny, but the novellas are the first paranormal YA, but The Garden of
Mhm.
Two is actually my very first novel I ever wrote. I started in children's books. Okay, so I have two
Uh-huh.
children's books out, and I was with Salt of the Earth Press, that's the publisher, and um, I got a bug. I got married young. I met my husband at
Mm.
16. He was 20. He was turning 21 in a couple of months. He had no idea I was just 16.
Mm.
I had an Italian father, so I wasn't going into this man's apartment or anything like that. But we
Mhm.
we dated, and when I turned 18, we got married.
Mm.
So it was a very
That's
young love and very lot of emotions when you're a teenager. And I just kind of wanted to take that and put it into something because we're still married. We'll be married 43 years in August. We've been together 45.
this
And
this is so close to my mother that I it kinda creepy because my mother was 15 and my father was 18.
there you go.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Because
So those were the
my dad was going into Vietnam, so yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, and
Wow.
my mother had to use I think it was an ant's urine because she had just had a baby or was pregnant, I can't remember. I think it has she had to be she was pregnant, and they used her urine to say that my mother was in a delicate situation so that they could get married.
Aw.
Yes, yes. She
Wow.
will kill
I'm
me
glad.
when she hears this podcast, but
Oh,
yes.
jeez. I'm glad
Yes.
those things have changed a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she was 15 when they got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going to my parents. We got engaged when I was 16. He got me the ring. And my
Mm,
parents were brilliant. They didn't say, no, you can't get married. No, you can't do this. You know what they said? They reasoned with me. They
mm,
said, with both of us, actually, they said, listen,
yeah,
you know what? You only got a couple more years and then you're going to graduate. If you
mhm,
finish high school, right,
yeah,
then all of that is done. You guys are going to still be together for the next 2 years. They were brilliant. They didn't react. You know what I mean?
right,
Like so that I would do the opposite. They just sat down and reasoned with me. But that's how my parents were. Very
right,
Italian, very loving, very close.
yeah,
But anyway, so the point being is with the Garden of Two, I just wanted something to get all of that out, those emotions from when I was a teenager. And the reason
mhm,
I said it during World War One is because I have this very, very long time attraction to anything from 1910 to say 1940, but
mm,
mostly in those years of the 19 teens and early 20s. So that's why I picked World War One, and I just went ahead and I wrote. Lily, how, how I would feel, and I put lots of Ronnie into Charlie. Ronnie's my husband. Lots of Ronnie into Charlie. And then for the rest, the Garden of Two, it's in Long Island. That's where I'm from, Long Island. And the garden where everything's planted in pairs is just something I always kind of envisioned would be really cool. So that's where that came from.
Hmm.
So I wrote that,
Very
shed it, and then went into paranormal and never looked back.
right. That is very interesting. I understand about the first book. I had a first book that sat on a shelf for at least 2 years, and then I decided to let go of it. So I understand that. You kinda get your feet wet into the you submerge yourself into something until you find out what your actual feet are meant to be planted in. So I fully
Yeah.
understand that. I really do. So
Yeah.
tell me
I know
what's coming next. Go ahead.
what, no, I was just going to say, I had someone ask me, she loves that book, and she has asked me if I was going to do more. And I said, no, no,
Mm,
I
yeah.
found my home, I know what it is that I should do.
Right.
But right now, what I'm working on now is I'm rewriting that one I told you about. I just finished another, it's called A Witch's Love, and
Mhm.
it takes place in Long Island, but
Mm.
they're originally from Ireland.
Oh, okay.
And I took the character, very real person by the name of Elizabeth Garlick, and kind of created fantasy around her. So she is the mother of the clan. And then but we're 500 years later, because we're in real time. And
Mhm.
there's a veil ceremony where um, the fabric belonged to Elizabeth, and she created the ceremony that every 100 years, the eldest daughter of one of each of the six that are in that family, because they're all representative from her kids, her six daughters, they get a portion of the veil sewn into a veil that they design, and they get some of her power, and the veil itself just regenerates every time they take the pieces off of it. But stuff starts to happen. Murder, and I shouldn't say murder, but I'll say death, and just things that are going to prevent some of the girls from taking part in the ceremony. And then Maeve, who is the lead character, and her friends start to investigate to find out what's going on. And then that takes them down the history to 500 years ago, and how this all started, and what's happening today, and why people dying, and why are these things happening, and who wants to prevent them from getting the power.
Mm. Sounds intriguing.
You're like,
I'm kinda sold.
I'm thinking in your brain, you're going, oh my God, this person's just flipped.
No, no, I'm actually intrigued. No, no, I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. Hand on Bible, I swear, I will swear. Um, Thank you
So
so
that's the
much,
one I
big.
just finished.
Well, oh, you just finished it, really?
Yeah, yeah. I should really quick say though, with CGM, I've got The Darkest Light, which is Angels and Demons, teenagers, and Liminal Space, which is a young adult, well, new adult type sci-fi.
Okay.
That's what's
So
coming out
the
with them
okay, so that's new releases, yes?
in 2024. Yes.
Oh, in 2024. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Awesome. Now, The Witch's Love, is that one coming out in 2024 too?
I haven't sent it in. I'm not sure yet what I want to do with
Ah.
it.
See, now you just teased me with something. I see how you are now, uh-huh. Mhm, mhm. I wanna thank you so much, Vicky. I
Thank
generally
you.
find that the most entertaining, voices come in, and that's usually when we go over our time. Because those are the most enjoyable conversations. Not that the 20 minutes are horrible or anything like that. I just find that there are a special type of people that make the time go by in such a delight, and you're one of those special people. So thank you for being on tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for being the same.
Oh,
Because
well, thank
you're. This has been so much fun, just being able to have a cup of coffee with you,
ah,
and I've enjoyed myself immensely.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. I try to make it like you're talking to a friend, so you're more than welcome to come back anytime. Be my
Oh,
guest.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're more than welcome. So as all well, no, I shouldn't say as always. As I'm trying to undergo, we are doing Amazon deals of the day. Today will be the third one I have done, and I found something very interesting. I don't know, probably rare to hear, but I am in my 50s, and I find that I use this a lot. It is collagen peptides powder supplement for your skin, hairs, and joints. And I'll be honest, I'm not just trying to sell this because I actually take it. I put it in my coffee. I do the vitamins. I do the lotion. You name it, I've done it, and I have seen the difference. Today's deal is it was $29.99 and now it is $18.36. I will have the link and everything. And if you're interested, it is gluten free, it's keto, it's paleo, it's a 16-ounce canister. You can't beat that, guys. I want to thank you for listening tonight. You've been a delight. Thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. Until next time, bye bye for now.